Hey guys, I want to talk about positive and negative exponential plus your dual rate. Alright, so in my Devo 8S remote, all the dimensions are the same for when you're going into negative and positive expo, okay? Here's the stock setting. When your stick's in the center, this is what this line's going to represent right here at this dot. When you move the joystick over, it's going to give you a 50% value at 50% of the joystick, varying on 100%, 100%. Same if when you move it the other direction. It's going to be the exact same. It's a straight line, okay? Now we're going to go over here to your negative expo and a dual rate. So now we're talking about our dual rates. What you're doing here is you're setting a certain value of the servo, how far it's going to move out of that 100% value. You can have it all the way, you could have it at 90%, 80%, whatever you want. But all that's going to say is when you're doing your graphs down here, it's going to change it. So as you see here, this is where the line would normally go at that setting. Say this is 25%. But since I got a dual rate setting of 90%, this line is going to stay within that line of 90%. So what's going on with your servos, I'll explain. If you go with a negative expo, when you're moving your joysticks over left or right, up or down, if you got a negative expo, when you're getting about, at 25%, you're already close to 50% of input on that servo. And then from 50% over, you aren't really moving it that much, right? So it's going to be really, really fast in the center of region right here. It's going to be react really, really fast. And then on the outside region of your servo, it's going to move very slow. First, if you come over here to a positive exponential for your radio, it's all dimensions are the same. So if you look at the same graph in a positive exponential, what's going to happen now is when I'm at 25%, I'm only going to be moving maybe 13%. And when I'm at 50%, it's going to be at 30%. And then once I pass that outer region, when I'm in here, it's nice and stable. It moves. It's not going to jump all over. But once I need it, or if I want, I get on the outside of that region of your joysticks, and it's going to move really fast. So you can keep those high dual rates, right? So you can keep your high servo movement. You can bring it lower if you want, varying on your helicopter and how much pitch it can handle. If you set your dual rates, right? You set your dual rates up. If you go with a negative expo with a devention radio, it's going to, when you move your joysticks to the left or right or up and down, it's going to move very fast. As you see, it's going to drastically jump, and then it's going to lean out. Go down here again, negative expo, right? Move the joystick over. As I'm moving it over, the input's going higher, and then it's slowly releasing itself. So you're going to have really, really hard time flying the helicopter in this zone, and out here, the servo is going to be more delayed. So it's not a very good way to set up your remote for dual rates and expos, right? In this region, it's very nice, right? As you see, in this center of your square, the helicopter is going to be very docile, very relaxed, going to be able to control it in those heavy winds when it just needs that fine little tune. You aren't going to be all over your joystick versus if you're up here with a higher rate. Like if you start going negative, it's just too harsh on your controls. It's very hard to keep stable. If you go with your negative or positive expo, your positive expo is going to make your helicopter very docile, very relaxed, and enjoyable to fly. Same with your airplanes or whatever aircraft if you have. If you put in some positive expo in the center region of your joystick, it's going to make it a lot nicer. It's going to make it easier to fine tune, right? Like when you're in this region, it's going to move very, very slow. I want to plug in my helicopter and let you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here, if you can see, I have my elevator at dual rate set at 80%. So my servo is only going to move 80% of its value, right? My exponential is set at 25%. So my line here I've got, as you see, it comes low and then it comes high. So in this region, it's going to be very easy for me to fly, versus if it was a straight line, it would be a lot more responsive. It would be very fast servo movement, versus now I got it dialed down in this center region. So the fact that when I want to do those hovers or I want to do those small lands on the smaller objects, it's very stable and easy to control. So I'll go through this. Alright, so I got my little helicopter here plugged in. This is the V120 D02S model. Alright, so if you watch the swash plate movement, I'll bring up the remote up high here too. Alright, so if you watch the swash plate, okay, and the joystick, I move it a little bit, and right in this region you see how fast it's moving, and then in this area it's nice and easy, right, both ways. It's nice and easy, but when I get to the outside region of the joysticks, it gets very, very fast, right? It starts moving greater values. Just like over here, right? Right in that quarter region, it's not moving very fast. And then I get to that one point, you see how it's starting to kick over? Like, it's barely moving, and I'm moving that joystick quite a bit. So the higher you put this positive expo, the lower the gain input is going to be put on that servo. So if you have a positive 50 expo, it's going to be very, very slow in this region, and then when you get on the outside box, it's going to jump really, really fast. So you want to, I'd say, start at 20, 25, work higher or lower varying on your model. If you guys have a different model than devention, a simple way to figure it out is set up your remote like this for your dual rates and exponential, and then go over to your helicopter, right? Move that servo. Now, if you're getting really, really fast movements in the center of your joystick, and you're going to the outside of your joystick and it's very, very slow, well, you know that your remote needs to be opposite. You need to be in the negative and not the positive. But for devention radios, all devention radios, positive expo, and you're going to have a lot cleaner flying, especially in the center of your joysticks. Hope you guys enjoy. If you guys have any more questions, make a comment and subscribe.